Where is
Oh
everything?
God, that was a playoff special, weren't it? That.
If that was a playoff special, imagine the final.
Oh God, I dread to think.
So do
Honestly,
I.
I
Let's
dread to
just
think.
let's just get to the final first.
That's true. Yeah, let's get there first, though. Oh God, I dread to think.
So do
Honestly,
I.
I dread
Let's just
to think.
let's just get to the final first. Hello, good evening, everybody. Happy Monday and happy playoff day. It all starts now. We're all starting at zero. And tonight, I'm joined by Mr. Dill. How are we doing this evening, sir?
Yeah, not too bad. It's nice to be on and watching along to stuff. And again, although I've said this to you just before we started, I love playoffs.
Oh, mate, it's just something about playoffs, isn't it? Like even for me today for this meeting, I know I've got a vested interest in Ipswich, but the anticipation is just built up all day while I've been pretending to work.
Pretending to. Alan's in the chat says he can't hear a thing. That's because we were getting ready to start out. You should now be able to hear us because I can hear us, and if Palmer loads it up, he should be able to hear us. So you should be able to hear us.
I'll tell you what. Let's have a look on my phone because it says we are live.
We're putting Alan's theory to the test. Is Alan just being
I
a little
can
bit thick?
I can hear us on on my mobile device. So Al is just being a Ouija and it's just been thick.
So there are some statistics for these meetings, but shall we look at the two teams first? Because obviously it's run at Discovery's pace, so we'll probably get underway racing around about 7:45. So we've got time to do a full preview and stuff.
Oh, 100%.
Alan can hear now. He joined when we were in our warming up phase. Alan knows us by now and how these work. He should have known that, shouldn't he?
Alan's done enough of these watch-alongs in his short life to know how these happen.
Right, let's have a look at the teams then. Do you want to do the Belle Vue Aces and I'll do Ipswich, being as you've got a little bit of an interest in the witches, being as you sat there wearing an Ipswich Witches top as we do this.
Up the witches. So riding for the Belle Vue Aces, their team manager is Mark Lemon. That number 7. Their riding star is Jake Mulford, SGP2 superstar, and obviously got SGP2 on Friday in Voyons. At number 6 is Tate Ziski, Workington Ginger Man. At number 5, another Ginger Man from that neck of the woods, Daniel Bewley. At 4, Zach Cook, very likeable Australian, probably my favourite one in the Belle Vue team. At number 3, German Lidsey. Number 2, Norwich Bladon. And at number 1, World Champion Select, maybe? Who knows? Brady Kurtz. Who's you meant to watch and why?
I'm going for Brady Kurtz. He's been fantastic around Belle Vue this year. Maybe not so much away from home, but he's been so good at home, and I think he'll be absolutely fine tonight. He'll fly, and I'm looking forward to seeing ML versus Brady in the first race of the night to start off the Premiership playoffs in fine style.
And for the aces, I've gone for Norwich Bloodon tonight. He's probably been a bit inconsistent this season, and obviously he's just won the German title over the weekend. He needs to bring that form here if I feel if Belle Vue were to do any damage this evening.
Before we look at Ipswich, we are trialling a new method of doing this talking tonight, so hopefully the sound should be a touch clearer, certainly from my side. So if you're in the comments, let us know if it sounds any clearer and better. Thank you. Alan says, don't you mean Mr. Big Schnoz, Dan?
Mr. Allen, I am very, very respectful of all managers and riders in these meetings. You keep your opinions to yourself.
And Leonard says, evening lads, glad to be listening. Hopefully be a good meeting tonight. I hope everyone stays safe. We obviously echo that.
100%.
So, for the Ipswich True 7 Group Witches at number 7, their rising star Jason Edwards, a man that could be absolutely pivotal at number 6, Adam Ellis. Tom Brennan moves to number 5 for this evening's meeting with Dan Thompson at 4. Former world champion Jason Doyle rides at number 3. Danny King rides at number 2, who won his only British Championship at this track, so he knows the quickest way around it. And at number 1, it's Emil Sarvudanov. Palm out your Ipswich man to watch.
I've gone for Danny King tonight. I know he's not 100% fit with his hand, but he has been in some absolute blistering form as of late, and I don't want to say too much, but around this circuit he has beat Brady Kurtz 3 times.
I've just realised something. All of our watch-alongs this week, Monday to Thursday, we're going to be watching Danny King.
Danny King, D&D Media Superstar.
Dom Freeman sounds great. Leonard sounds better. Alan sounds fab. So whatever we've changed is working. I'm going to go for Adam Ellis. He won his British title at this track as well. And he should be an absolute bargain at reserve for Ipswich. And with all due respect to the Belle Vue reserves, neither of them have really set the world on fire this season.
100%. And it's going to be an interesting one. I think. Well, to be honest, none of the 2 playoff meetings look that clear-cut, do they?
No, there's no standout team, is there? There's nobody that you sit there and think, yeah, they're going to absolutely trounce all of this.
I mean, if we went back 4 months, you'd probably say Ipswich smash it. But, obviously injuries have happened and team changes. Well, a team change has happened, and yeah, it's hard to say for me who gets to that final from both of the meetings.
Shall we have a look at the statistics of the 2 teams when they've met at this track from this year? They've met 3 times at the National Speedway Stadium in 2025. The first meeting was on the 4th of March, with Ipswich taking a 50 points to 40 victory. But it was early in the season and everyone was still shaking out. Then they faced again in league action on June the 30th, with Belle Vue taking a 52 points to 38 win on that occasion. And their most recent meeting at the National Speedway Stadium resulted in a 45-all draw, with Ipswich taking the Superheat win. So that's quite telling. Ipswich have done solid here in 2 of their 3 visits, including their most recent visit here.
Oh, 100%, as you say, they won twice here this season. Obviously they've won in the Knockout Cup right at the very, very start of the year, but obviously that counts for nothing because it was in the Knockout Cup. And yeah, obviously Belle Vue got that first win in round 1 of the league, I believe. And yeah, Ipswich obviously hitting back last time, so very, very interesting times ahead. And obviously, obviously we've got these statistics, but the league is done now, apart from the two meetings that need to be done. I'm looking
After
at
the
you, Sheffield.
playoffs.
I'm looking at you, Sheffield and Ipswich, and Leicester
Oh,
and Oxford. Let's race some league meetings after the league has been won.
honestly, I've
Uh,
never known anything like it.
but yeah, the league is virtually done now, and we all start at 0. So both teams will be feeling the pressure. It's just, as Triple H once said to Seth Rollins, you either crumble or you become diamonds.
Yeah, it's a good way to look at it, to be honest. And
Um,
yeah, I think that's a smart way of putting it. There are statistics for the meeting at Ipswich, but we'll look at those on Thursday. But having a quick glance over those, in my opinion, Belle Vue need at least 14 points lead to take to Foxhall on Thursday, because it's not been a happy
minimum.
hunting ground for them this year there.
Never forget the 27th of March.
That was a
That
special result, weren't it?
that was something.
Tonight's SCB referee is Chris Durno.
Oh
Wow,
my God!
wow, that's an interesting coin to toss.
It's round and it's got heads and tails on it.
It is. It won't escape,
So,
obviously. So it's smart.
so we can expect an SCB statement in the morning.
Oh God, don't even get me started on SCB statements. Dharma's said either 52-38 to Belle Vue or 43-47 to Ipswich. That's a bit of a difference there. There's no middle ground there. And then he says, who do you two reckon's going to win it all? Palmer, I'll let you answer this one first, as the riders are now being introduced.
Oh. Honestly, I just, I don't know. Naturally, having vested interest, especially in the man that's on the TV now, for me anyway.
And me, yeah. We are in sync.
My heart would like get in. My heart would like to say Ipswich, but honestly, my head says Leicester.
I'm going to agree with you. I think Leicester, although they've not quite been at their blistering best recently, I think they've got enough in hand. Like you said, a 3 months ago, I'd have probably said Ipswich, but I know they were probably sandbagging a little bit against Sheffield last week, but they lost on home soil, and a loss is a loss whether you're sandbagging to stay safe or not. Because it was a pointless meeting.
100%.
There was no benefits to either team to go out there and put everything on the line. You know, it don't matter whether you finish top or second or whatever. You get who you get and you start again, but you're no good to anybody if you're injured because you tried too hard in a meeting that didn't necessarily have anything riding on it.
And to be fair, I have watched that meeting from Ipswich because there has been a legend at Ipswich that films all the meetings on an iPhone and puts them out on YouTube.
What a boy!
And yeah, I watched it while I was round up at Big Cal's over the weekend, and it was clear as day that none of them was trying. Well, there was.
They were racing, but they weren't breaking their necks to do.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
you will see that in these meetings. This is what all the hard work's for. But if you're mathematically qualified and you're in, you ain't going to go out and risk putting yourself through the fence and in hospital for a couple of days with an injury or anything and miss out on what you've worked all season to achieve, is it?
And let's be honest, by the end of April, these top four was virtually confirmed in the playoffs anyway.
It's true.
Dan Bewley's got a monster hat on, and it's a beanie one, and it's a glow-in-the-dark one.
Oh, I like
I
that.
reckon it might be a little bit chilly in Manchester.
No. Dom says, good answer, boys. I think he's a Leicester fan. What a boy. We can confirm the gates. Danny King won the toss for Ipswich, so whatever happens tonight, Ipswich have won something, and he elected to go for heat number 1, and he's gone for 1 and 3, which we expected, looking at the riding pattern on BSN's website. And the riders are just being introduced to the crowd. Apparently, Belle Vue have put the prices up for this. I hate when clubs put the price up for the playoffs. And I am reliably informed that pre-sale tickets for this meeting weren't particularly great.
I did hear that as well, to be honest. But I'm
not a fan of
I
clubs
mean, I
putting the
remember when
prices up.
Scunny won the league in 2012.
You can remember that
We
far
we put
back.
our prices up from I think we put it up from £16 to 17. Only just, but it only went up a pound, which I didn't think was too bad because obviously times were tough and everything, but an extra pound isn't necessarily a lot, and it was for the final. But obviously, 2 years ago when we were in the cup final and when we was in the playoffs the past 2 years, we kept it at 20 quid as that's what it should be. I mean, Speedway should only be a £20 sport, but not 25, 26, or in Belle Vue's case tonight, probably about 36 quid.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Like British Speedway's Premiership racing is high end of reasonable as it is. It's quite expensive, certainly for the product that we've seen at some points this year. So to then put it up for the final is a little bit of an insult as well, in my opinion. I don't think Wolves ever put it up for the final. I know they put their prices up for the last couple of meetings when they were about to close, but I don't think they ever put them up for playoffs beforehand. Alan is using selective hearing again. He says, Dan Palmer video in Speedway at Vauxhall. Is there anything that man can't do? Centre Green presenter, commentary, graphics man, pothole tester, and now filming on an iPhone. I wonder what's next. Al, he said somebody has been filming it, not he had been filming it.
I unfortunately I haven't been able to get to Vauxhall this year, Al. So get the cotton buds out in your ears and give them a wipe, pal.
And if you are in the comments, we've got 14 people watching. Get in the comments, keep us talking. With TNT, they run the show, so it's going to be a little bit more stop-start than we'd probably get with BSN tonight. We are back tomorrow with BSN, though, for the Championship playoff semi-final first leg between the Poole Pirates and the Redcar Bears, in which we both have a vested interest with Ace Piper riding for the Bears.
Bears?
And then we watch Redcar on Wednesday as well. Hopefully.
That we do.
Hopefully.
Oh no!
What?
My TNT's buffering.
Oh, I've got my lemon
TNT's
talking, so you're probably winning. You're probably winning in this situation, to be honest.
I don't, well, it was buffering and it wasn't. Give me a moment. I'll go back and we'll start it all again.
Maybe give it a quick refresh. But yeah, hopefully the sound is coming through better. Certainly from my side, I was using the microphone on my webcam to be doing the watch-alongs, but I've noticed the sound wasn't great, so I've actually plugged in my proper microphone for this one, my proper streaming microphone for this. So hopefully the sound quality is coming through better, and if it is, then we'll stick with this. We've got 17 people watching us.
I can tell you I will make the investment in the winter and I will get a better microphone for next season.
To be fair, yours ain't too bad. The one on your headset's not bad, to be honest. It's decent quality. It was mine going through my webcam, which is obviously on top of my computer, and now the electrics going through the computer were being put up by that microphone, which was making it a little bit difficult to hear me at points, which is probably a good thing.
Right, my discovery on my TV has been a Tawata.
Try it on your computer, Mush. There is no issues. Discovery's end. Mine ain't paused or anything once.
That is just what I'm about to do.
Screw you, TV.
Please keep me logged in because I can't remember my password. Please keep me logged in because I can't remember my password.
Oh God, it wouldn't be a shoot some shout watch along, would it? Without something going tips up. Has it logged you out?
Yeah. Right, hold on. I've got my password.
No.
I've got my password in my phone. 2 minutes. Oh my! Have I missed anything?
No, we're just seeing the track now. TNT have just come back from their ad break, so
Oh,
I'd
that's good.
imagine Heat 1 will be coming out soon. And the riders are lined up for Heat 1 and about to push off. Here's one for you then before we start. Foyens is this weekend. Brady Kurtz has every chance to become world champion. Does that impact his form this week? Does that play on his mind this week?
Possibly. My heart says no. I'll be honest. But we'll soon find out.
Yeah, we wait and see how it goes. And
come on, Discovery, don't be a Swindon Lib Dem MP.
That was something last night, weren't it?
Oh, come on, hurry up.
Track looks well prepared, to be honest. It looks a
An unexpected error occurred. I love Discovery meetings. Have I ever told you?
£30.99 for Discovery to say, screw you, fatty, you're not watching this. That's Discovery speaking, not me. Me and Palmer are both around about the same size.
Here we go.
So we can call each other fatty. I ain't bullying him or anything. Don't report me to YouTube. Or the police. We've got riders at tape 3, number 1. Hopefully Palmer's able to view this now. But the lineup of Heat 1 of 30 across the next few days. Going off Gate 1 in yellow, the captain of the Ipswich Witches is Danny King. Gate 2 in blue is Norbert Bladorn, who recently won the German national title again. Gate 3 in white is Emil Sayvudanov. And off the outside in red is the captain of the Belle Vue Aces and potentially soon to be world champion, Brady Kurtz. That would be some story, wouldn't it, if he could win that world title?
The start tapes his rise from for Heat number 1. The track is very greasy, it's Brady Kurtz there out in front with Danny King there in second, Emil Sayvudanov in third, and we've lost Norbert Bladorn at the back. He's packed up at the back. So it is currently a 3-all to kickstart the playoffs off here as Brady Kurtz is leading, but he's starting to get put under some pressure here from Danny King. Emil Sayvudanov is very, very safe there in third place here. But Brady Kurtz showing no thoughts whatsoever on Voyens at the weekend. Not yet anyways. We're going to the third lap here at the National Speedway Stadium. And Brady Kurtz is now slowly extending his lead over Danny King here, and Emil Sayvudanov in third place. He hasn't got Norbert Bladorn to worry about because he's packed up, so he's just playing it safe and going to guarantee the Witches 3 points, as well as obviously the Aces 3 points, because nobody's touching Brady Kurtz here just like that.
Good start from Brady then, weren't it? And Norbert Bladorn trudging back to the pits. But if you're going to break down, you want to do it this side of the meeting, not when we come down to the later stages of Thursday's meeting.
100%.
But that was a very, very, very intelligent ride from Brady. Gets across from the outside gate and takes the flag. And that'll settle the nerves as well. That's the importance of having a big hit in at number 1. And the result of Heat 1 was a win for the rider in red, Brady Kurtz. Second in yellow, Danny King. And third in white, Emil Sayvudanov. Points divided 3 apiece after the first heat. Now I must admit, I slightly fear for Belle Vue in heat number 2. I won't lie, their reserves haven't been particularly good all year.
Not been great, have they?
That was a very, very smart ride from Brady, and as we obviously know early on in a meeting, the line is around the inside.
And yeah, solid ride from the shorter-haired Australian ginger of the Belle Vue team.
Winnie, evening fellas. Sorry I'm late. Everyone good. Better late than never.
Better late than never, me old fruit. How we doing? Hope you're doing well this evening, sir.
Jake Mulford's causing chaos in the push-off area.
Oh, Jesus.
And we get to see Jake Mulford a fair few times this week as well, because he rides for Redcar, as does Danny King.
And if you're mad like me,
and Jason
probably...
Edwards, actually. Half a Redcar area.
And if you're mad like me, probably going to watch at least the first hour and a half of SGP2. We get to see Jake Mulford in that as well. How lucky
Blimey.
are we?
You're balmy. When's that? What time's that on Friday?
Friday, I think it's at like half past. I think it's 5:30. Don't quote me on that. I'll find out the timing for you later on in the show.
I'll remind you, otherwise it'll leave the back of your mind.
Thank you very much. You're such a kind man.
I'm interested to see who's on commentary for Discovery and TNT for this. Actually, I know Cal will be one. I'm intrigued to hear who the other one is.
I'd imagine it'll be Ollie Allen.
Possibly, he's really good actually as well. Heat number 2, gate 1 in red for the Belle Vue Aces is Tate Zishki, gate 2 in white for the Ipswich Witches. Very handy rider to have at number 6, Adam Ellis, gate 3 in blue for the Aces, their rising star, Jake Mulford. And off the outside in yellow, mid-season signing rising star when he got injured, released from Birmingham, snapped up by Ipswich, and then obviously gets to retain his spot for this for the playoffs and the rest of the season. Jason Edwards, who's somewhat settled the nerves a little bit, I think, of Ipswich. Obviously, Jordan Jenkins had a torrid season with injury, and you never knew if you were going to have him or you weren't. And Jason Edwards has almost settled that position down for Ipswich.
Yeah, 100%, and he's done a solid enough job for the Witches this season. So interesting to see how he gets on here tonight. The Tates fly for heat number 2. Adam Ellis, what a beautiful start there. Jason Edwards is just about there with him. Now, what can the Belle Vue Aces do? Tate Zishki now is almost neck and neck with Jason Edwards, but not quite. Adam Ellis with a big lead there. Jake Mulford at the back. So normal service has resumed for Mr. Mulford. But, yeah, the big battle really is for second and third between Jason Edwards and Tate Zishki. The rivals here and the big rivals in the championship with Redcar and Workington be very low. Well, I say very local. We're about 2 hours from each other as we go into the third lap now. And Edwards leaves a bit of a gap going into the first bend, but Zishki cannot capitalise on this. This is some very, very good riding here from Jason Edwards. A sensible ride on young shoulders, as an old commentator would have said. But as we come into the last lap now, this is a beautiful ride, this from Adam Ellis, and Jason Edwards is pulled away now from Tate Zishki. And after heat number 2, you feared for the Aces reserves here, and you was very right to do so, as the Witches open a 4-point lead.
That was all done from the gate. Adam Ellis absolutely nailed that, and Jason Edwards got across from gate 4. Gates 2 and 4 working early on. Very well. Adam Ellis doing what you'd expect, and a very smart ride from Jason Edwards to hold off any pressure from Tate Zishki before he started to pull away. It was said before the race, the Belle Vue reserves have really been that weak link in this team this season for the Aces, and this is the kind of competition now, the playoffs time, where that will really be highlighted, especially with the former British champion at reserve for Ipswich. The result of heat number 2 was a win for the rider in white, Adam Ellis, second in yellow, Jason Edwards, and third in red, Tate Zishki. 1 point to Belle Vue, 5 to Ipswich, and the progressive score after 2 heats, Belle Vue 4 points, Ipswich 8. Dom makes a point. Dan Thompson is also in GP2. He is also in GP2. What a ball.
He is in GP2.
And we'll see Dan Thompson on a watch along on Sunday, all things being well, because we've got 2 of them, and one of them is it the Glasgow meeting this week? No, it's not, is it? It's next week. It's next week.
It's next Saturday.
Yeah.
No, it's so we've got both legs of Ipswich at Belle Vue this week, and as an added treat, we've got both legs of Poole and Redcar.
We have, yeah. We're tomorrow and Sunday, innit? Double duty for us on Sunday, so I hope people like to listen to us.
Well, we've had good numbers recently, haven't we? So we must be doing something right.
Yeah,
like
we should
talking
like,
you know, I think we talk sense sometimes.
For me, this is a massive pairing for Belle Vue, this 3 and 4. Some weeks they've been superb, some weeks they've not, but against Jason Doyle and Dan Thompson, they cannot afford to let Ipswich get too far in front. Must also be pointed out, there's no tacticals in 2-leg competition, so this won't have tacticals in it, I don't think. I don't think you can do it in the playoffs, can you?
No tacticals in playoffs at all.
So Belle Vue cannot afford to let Ipswich get any further ahead, and will this rejig of the riding order pay dividends for the witches?
Who knows? But we'll soon find out. And obviously, I know it's not quite playoffs, but Jason Doyle is obviously a four-time Peter Craven Memorial winner here at Belle Vue,
It's
and
true.
that lineup is probably better than a Grand Prix.
Yeah,
So
it's true.
he's quite handy around Manchester.
And to be fair, we watched him in the GP last weekend or the weekend before, whenever it was, and he looks somewhere near back to his best.
100%.
So the lineup for heat number 3, gate 1 in white for the Witches, Jason Doyle. Gate 2 in blue for Belle Vue, Zach Cook. Gate 3 in yellow for the Witches is Dan Thompson. And off the outside in red for Belle Vue is Jamin Lidsley, who's actually found a bit more consistency this year. For me, it's his best season in British Speedway, consistency-wise. But as a pairing, this pairing are either really good or really not. There's no in between.
100%, and we'll still see how they get on as the tapes fly for heat number 3. And Doyle has got to the first with Zach Cook there. Now, what could Dan Thompson do? And it's the Witches on a 5-1. Now, what can Zach Cook do? Blast around the outside there. Both Witches are brilliant ride from Zach Cook. Now, what can Dan Thompson do as he looks to come up the inside here of Zach Cook? And he's not quite done. Has he done it? Oh, it's neck and neck as a go. Around turns 2 and Dan Thompson has the lead. Now Zach Cook back around the outside. This is fantastic stuff from the young Australian man. Jason Doyle sat there in third. Jamin Liz is going wide at the back, but if anything, the two Witches are just extending their lead over Jamin Lizzie, and this will do the Witches all day long now, with Zach Cook there leading, but 3-3s for the Witches, and they'll be happy all the way going into Foxhall on Thursday. And now Doyle is racing his own teammate. Don't be doing that, pal. Otherwise, you'll just end up in trouble as we come into the last lap now. Zach Cook's out there. He's away. Gone. He could go get himself a hot dog, a burger, chips and a drink, and he'd still win this. The two Witches are settled there in second and third, and the Witches retain their 4-point advantage.
I'd be interested to see that start back. Doyle definitely had a nibble then. You could see he had a nibble, but a really, really good ride that from Zach Cook. Whenever he was put under pressure, he just trusted in that outside line. His start of the season for Belle Vue left a lot to be desired. There were questions if he'd be still in the team at this point, but they've stuck with him, and here he is, and he's just won heat number 3 in blue for the Belle Vue Aces, second in yellow Dan Thompson, and third in white Jason Doyle. Points divided 3 apiece, and Ipswich retain their 4-point lead at the early stage, with Belle Vue on 7, Ipswich 11 after 3 heats. We missed the moment Doyle jumps. He definitely double clutches it. He definitely double clutches it, but Durner decided that he was going to let go, and it was almost the perfect start because Doyle put Zach out, but Zach was happy to be there and go for it. And I think that might give Dan Bewley a little bit of an idea of where to put his bike in the next one as well.
100%, me old China.
Dan Thompson had a good go here. There was a lot of respectful racing between the two as well. There was room left. There was no sticking anyone in the fence. Good, safe, fair racing, but hard racing as well.
100%, that's what Speedway's all about. Hard but fair. What more do you want? And that looks like Tate Ziske replacing Jake Mulford in blue here.
That is Tate Ziske in blue, so Mark Lemon rolling the dice early to try and pull this gap back, and Tate was the better of the two Belle Vue riders in Heat 2, but he was still on the wrong end of a 5-1, and he will come up against the man who beat him in Heat 2, unless Ipswich have decided to throw Adam Ellis in here, which honestly I wouldn't be surprised at either, to be honest.
So, no, that's Jason Edwards.
No, JC's here, yeah.
It's the Gingers versus the Witches.
And Tom Brennan riding at number 5 for Ipswich, but he knows this place very well. Raced as their rising star in the early stages of that programme. Was the first rising star to qualify from that programme into the main body as a Belle Vue rider, so knows this place inside and out, and on his day is more than capable of beating anybody in the world.
Oh, 100%. And obviously, as you mentioned, he graduated the Rising Star programme here, and he more than held his own when he got into that main body as well. So
he does like this track, doesn't he? He loves riding here.
He does. and I'm sure Belle Vue supporters would have him back in a heartbeat if the opportunity was so there.
We've got 20 people watching us or listening to us. Dan Bewley off gate 4. It's written in the stars where he's going, isn't it?
He's going to blast round them boards, and then Tom Brennan's just going to pop underneath him and then just jet off for a win.
Heat number 4, gate 1 in yellow for the Witches. The Rising Star Jason Edwards got a paid win in heat number 2. Gate 2 in blue, a reserve change. Tate Zischke comes in to replace Jake Mulford, who was the 1 point in the 5-1 of heat number 2. Tom Brennan comes out for his first ride off gate number 3, and Dan Bewley comes out of gate number 4 for his first ride. Some good racing even this early on.
This is what the playoffs does. The old China start mashing walks away for heat number 4. The Tates fly up, away we go. It's a very good start there for Jason Edwards there in the yellow helmet colour. Bewley's going right round the outside and Brennan up the inside. Bewley has the lead, and it's the Witches in their second and third positions. And I'm sure Richie Hawkins will have just said to him, let Bewley fly around the outside. You just stick to having second and third, because that'll do us all day long. And to be honest, Tate looks nowhere near competing against these two Witches in this one.
I'll tell you what, keep an eye on Brennan. He's shortening this gap down. He's getting close.
He is. Brennan knows this place like the back of his hand, and he's shortening the gap. Although Bewley, the wider he gets, the more he extends that lead a little bit more over Tom Brennan, and Brennan just winds the throttle on up the inside. He could get a little bit closer, although Bewley's got a bit of. It's going to take a bit of a miracle now for Tom to beat Bewley, providing any slips, trips, falls, and mechanical failures. First one of the stream. It only took us 4 rinks, but it is the British Ginger that takes the win in heat number 4.
That'll be disappointing for Belle Vue fans, because Tate Zischke was there or thereabouts early on, but he was absolutely tailed off in that. He was nowhere near, and that's a tactical option that they've used, and it's been wasted, dare I say, because Mulford's still got to have... Mulford. He's still got to have 2 rides at least, and one of them will be heat 8, but he's going to have to be given his third ride somewhere. And the result of heat 4 was a very impressive win off gate number 4 for the rider in red, Dan Bewley. Second in yellow, Tom Brennan, and third in yellow, Jason Edwards. Points divided again 3 apiece, and again Ipswich retained that 4-point lead. It's 10 points to 14 after 4 heats. Some really good racing early on, but like you called in that race, Richie Hawkins has probably said to his riders, if Bewley gets out in front, let him go. Just make sure that you stick in the places. Belle Vue need to win, and they need to win by double figures here to have any chance on Thursday. But with Ipswich in the lead at this exact moment, and if they're only getting 3 alls, then they're not going to close that gap on Ipswich. So
it's like what somebody has put in our or in one of the big group chats we're in for Belle Vue: 4 races, 4 last places.
Yeah.
It tells you a story, doesn't it?
We said at the start of the season this Belle Vue team didn't look as strong as it maybe should. They are in the playoffs, but to be fair, the teams that have missed out aren't particularly great. I'd have been more surprised if Belle Vue had missed out, but this is where the cream rises to the top, and in my opinion, this Belle Vue team won't win the league.
Bold statement here. If Kings Lynn had had the season that, if the Kings Lynn had raced all season like they'd raced the last 6 or 7 matches, Kings Lynn met the playoffs over Belle Vue.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. A very interesting first 4 heats, though. To be fair, and as an Ipswich fan, you must be delighted with how this is going. I'll shut that Discord chat up.
Obviously, I'm not going to complain. It's been a great start for the Witches, but we can't get too complacent. We've only had 4 heats. We've still got another
26,
11 to go,
and 26 overall.
Well, 11 tonight, of course. Belle Vue can come good in a lot of stages around the National Stadium. And we'll find out over the course of the next 2 hours.
And to be fair,
maybe
this is the point. This first half of the meeting is where Ipswich need to take advantage, because in the second half there is a lot more of Bewley and a lot more of Brady Kurtz. They're not quite so featured in the first half. They're more there in the second.
Yeah, 100%, and yeah, it's how it is, and obviously, Emil's obviously had a third place in Heat One, but he's one of them riders. You expect him to get the first ride out of the way and then kick on. So,
And
as I say, it's
you
an
have called
exciting
that
meeting,
spot on actually as
or
well.
exciting rest of the meeting coming up.
You've got that
Hopefully,
spot on because Ipswich are 4 points up, but Emil Sarvudinov paid second but was third. Jason Dorr paid second but finished third. If those two find the form that they're capable of here and start winning races for fun, it suddenly looks like Ipswich are a very scary team. You know, a second from Danny King, a second from Dan Thompson, a second from Tom Brennan, a win from Adam Ellis from his ride, and paid 5 for Jason Edwards from 2 starts so far.
100%.
You can see where the issues are lying with Belle Vue. 1 point from 3 rides for their reserves across the two of them.
Oh yeah, 100%. But while we've got a bit of an ad break, let's get a discussion going with all of our lovely followers, because this
Oh,
was something that I'd mentioned to you earlier.
oh, okay.
Actually, if British Speedway used to go to one league, which at the minute nobody knows what's going to happen. This week could be the last week of seeing Bewley, Kurt, Seifutinov, Doyle in the colours of British teams. Would our viewers prefer to keep this as it is with a Premiership and a Championship, or merge into one big league where there's no GP superstars? Get in the comments. Have a big discussion about it, because it's a big winter ahead for our promoters.
British Speedway is at a pivotal crossroads that I don't think it's been at for quite some time. It is either stick or twist. You either stick to what it is and hope it gets better, or you twist, change things up, potentially take a short-term knock-on effect, but to maybe preserve the future, and then see what happens. But me and you both have thoughts on this. I'd be interested to see what people's thoughts in the chat that are listening to us are, because it is a good debate. Some people are hell bent on sticking with 2 leagues and keeping these big named riders. Some people are adamant that it needs to be 1 league and we need to have slightly weaker teams but at slightly more affordable pricing.
I mean, it's like Premiership Speedway just for me as a working class adult. Premiership Speedway is not affordable. I mean, my local track in the Premiership would be Sheffield, right? So it's 30 quid train return, 20 quid taxis there and back. Then it's 25 quid to get in, plus your programme, which is, 4 quid? And then food and drink on top, and you're looking at the best part of 100 quid just to go to a Premiership meeting. It's not affordable.
We've got 2 comments to your message, which we'll read out now before we crack on with Heat 5. Dom says, would love one big league, but it would never happen, as riders wouldn't want to ride in the UK as much because they aren't able to double up. It's an interesting point, but if the one big league was at one standard and that was it, I think they would.
You mentioned riders couldn't double up, and that is a very valid point. However, if it was one big league, you'd almost have double the meetings that they have now, so there'd be no need to double up.
Yeah. But it would also be scattered on all different race nights, and obviously Poland and Sweden and Denmark for some, and France for some. Adam Ellis still rides in France, doesn't
He does.
You have also got John Watkin, that's a name I ain't seen before. Merged so we get more teams. Seeing the same teams over and over is not good, even with GP stars. We've both noticed that our tracks, obviously me at Birmingham, which had bad crowds anyway, but even you at Scunny, numbers have gone down this year of punters.
100%, and I think that's mainly down to a poor team and poor results. But it's a discussion we can keep going in the next ad break.
Heat 5, Gate 1 in red, Jamie Lidsley, last first time out. Gate 2 in yellow, Danny King, second in heat number 1. Gate 3 in blue, Zach Cuckoo, won heat number 3. And off the outside in white is Emil Saivudanov.
Now, for anybody that's listening to us and isn't watching, we we did have half a smile off Richie Hawkins.
I ain't having that. He don't smile. Oh no. Sure we didn't have trap wind or something. He doesn't smile. He's the most stern-faced
Well,
man I've ever seen.
Maybe Matt Lemon offered him a dodgy burger or something.
And to be fair, the ticket sales may not have been wrong. There were a lot of empty seats in that grandstand.
This crowd is, for a playoff meeting, this crowd is very, very poor. Dartmaster remotes away for heat number 5. It's a fairly even start. Liddy get to the first turn. Zach Cook. That's Zach Cook. No, that's German. Liddy gets there first. And now Zach Cook blasted himself round the outside of Witches. So it's the Aces currently on a 5-1. Emil Seifutinov surprisingly here at the back. And to be honest, Danny King's not really pulling up any strings. And the Aces are now pulling away from the Witches here. And it's going to make it all square after heat number 5 if it stays like this. But obviously, slips, trips, falls, mechanical failures, and miracles can happen. But these two out in front, they're almost team riding it, even though they don't have to, because they are about 100 miles ahead of the Witches boys. And yeah, the Witches boys, they're just trying to get into the dirt, and they're just trying to race each other now, and it's just not gonna. It's not going to work out really, but this is just what Mark Lemon ordered, and well, we're all square. Mark Lemon ordered a 5-1, and he still doesn't look happy.
Emil looks miles off it. He does not look competitive at all yet tonight.
It does. This would be very concerning for an Ipswich perspective. Well, it is.
Should be very concerning. Cause Danny King had a go. Emil and Danny were racing each other, but number 1 scoring 2 paid 3 of a possible 6 just isn't good enough. That should have been a race that Ipswich should have been targeting. They were on the favoured gates as well. All of the wins had come from gates 2 and 4 early on. And heat number 5 was won by the rider in blue Zach Cook, second in red Jamin Lidze, and third in white Emil Seifutinov. 5-1 to Belle Vue, and it ties us all up at 15 points apiece at the 1/3 stage of the meeting. Emil just didn't. He dropped the clutch perfectly. It just never went anywhere.
100%. And no, Jamie just got there from the first turn. This was a beautiful second turn from Zach Cook. Second turn to third turn, he just outside of the Witches straight to the inside. Beautiful move. And if the rumours are true of him wanting to be at a different championship club next year, and the club he's been linked with, we may have a very, very happy punter on Shoot Some Shale.
A couple more comments. If it goes to one league, you can still have 1 star in each club, and all do there in Sweden. From Leonard Winnie, I don't think it will end up as 1 league personally, as I think the tweaks needed to really make it work. I'll be on the promoters we have in the sport these days. And Winnie again says it must be hard work watching the same clubs every few weeks. Anyway, I'm having a mint cornetto. Ooh, mint cornetto.
Mint Cornetto, elite. What's everybody's choices of ice cream? Mind you, don't know about you, it's a bit too cold for ice creams here.
The temperature has suddenly dropped, and we're definitely feeling autumn now. And will that 5-1?
Wow, 100%.
Will that 5-1 to the Belle Vue Aces put a spring in their step? We don't know what Norwich Dawn's going to look like. He never made it past the first turn in Heat 1, but we're on to Heat 6, Gate 1 in white for the Witches, Tom Brennan. Gate 2 in red for Belle Vue, winner of Heat number 1, Brady Kurtz. Gate 3 in yellow for Ipswich, winner of Heat number 2, Adam Ellis. And off the outside in blue, got just about to the first turn under leg power because his bike gave up. So we don't know how he's going to look at this point. We've not seen anything of him yet. Norwich Dawn. Leonard's having a beer, Palmer. You'll be able to appreciate that.
Congratulations, sir. I tell you what, after this meeting, in honour of you watching us tonight, I'll have a cider from the fridge.
Pressure on Tom Brennan here, because Belle Vue are on the favoured
Massive.
gates. Brady Kurtz was fantastic in heat number 1, and we don't know what to expect from Noah Bladorn.
I think the message for the Ipswich boys in this one will probably be
Don't finish last.
let Brady go and then fend off Norwich. But who knows what will happen? Slips, trips, falls, mechanical failures, and
Oh,
all
wow.
that T-shirt coming soon. And tapes rise for heat number 6, and Brady Kurtz has got to that first turn first. It is the 2 Ipswich boys in second and third, and Tom Brennan's very, very close to Brady Kurtz here. Now Bladorn looking to come round the outside of Ellis. Ellis shuts that door beautifully there. And this is what Richie Hawkins will have told his boys here as Brady Kurtz out there in the front, as you'd expect. And it is pulled away from Tom Brennan and Adam Ellis. Them two just need to look at team riding this one now, as Noah Bladorn is closing in on both the Witches, although Brennan's let Ellis get through into second, and now both the Witches are trying to go round for that outside, which didn't really help them out that much. It's a good thing the Witches that Bladorn is quite a distance behind us. We've got 1 lap left to go then. Brady Kurtz is in an absolute class of his own here. He's absolutely flying, and anybody that suggested that he may not be committed because he's got a world title on the line at the weekend have been well and truly shut up, aka me. And that is a big 3-3.
I don't know who got second. Tom and Adam were both looking at each other, and they were both sitting there thinking, you have it, no, you have it. I don't know who got it. Good ride from Brady. Bladorn was there or thereabouts early on. Belle Vue actually gated on a 5-1, but this will be concerning for the Belle Vue fans who, let's be honest, have sort of soured on Bladorn this season. He's not progressed, has he?
It's almost like he's found his level.
Yeah.
Bladorn may be a rider that if it sticks to 2 leagues next season, Bladorn may.
That's a dead heat for second for me. That still
think
doesn't
Adam just
show who got it. Tom's shutting off. Did Adam get it? Let's find out. No is the answer to that one. Heat number 6 was won by the rider in red, Brady Kurtz. Second in white, Tom Brennan. And third in yellow, Adam Ellis. Points divided 3 apiece, and we're now on 18 points apiece after heat number 6. Has that messed up your programme, Palmer?
that it has. God's sake, Brennan. Yeah, beautiful start here from the Aces, and yeah, as soon as I got round the second turns, the Ipswich boys were in second and third, and that was it. Away she wrote.
And this is a race where Ipswich need to take advantage of maybe not so much Bewley. Maybe they could do without trapping him, but certainly with Zishki in again, you'd be expecting him to pack in if nothing else. But both Doyley and Dan Thompson had a bit of speed about them in their opening race, so we'll see what happens here. We've got 25 people watching us.
Told you. We're potentially getting to that target number that I mentioned to you earlier.
It's true. We're only about 44 off.
We're not a million miles off then. Get in.
We're not even halfway there, but we'll take the little victories.
Mate, when you've been watching Scuddy all year, little victories are everything.
It's very true. Very, very true. And Birmingham, for that matter.
R.I.P. in pieces. God rest Birmingham's soul.
And Belle Vue have shown a little bit of grit in this next batch of heats. It went Ipswich way in the opening one. I think Belle Vue will be happy to get out of this second block of heats level. And they've got every chance with Dan Bewley going off gate 1 in red, gate 2 in white for the Witches, Jason Doyle, gate 3 in blue for the Aces, the number 6 Tate Zishki, and off the outside in yellow Dan Thompson, who had a hell of a lot of speed actually early on. And gate 4 is the second best gate of the meeting. Jason Doyle finds himself on the best gate of the meeting so far.
about time Doyle come to the party as well, if you ask me.
The fella on the screen there, the
Um,
Belle Vue Colts manager, got a really funny story about him. He came to Birmingham versus Belle Vue a few weeks back, and Big Boy was on the pit gate, and obviously we both know Big Boy quite well. Big Boy kicked him out of the pitch because he had no interest in being in there. He was not happy. Big Boy's a legend like that, though.
Oh, 100%.
This is the most
So,
normal-looking start marshal I've ever seen. Carry on.
Start Marshal Ron in potentially his last meeting at Belle Vue because he was retiring at the end of the season. Walks away. Tapes rising, away we go. Both the Belle Vue boys there have gated. Bewley's there. And so is Doyle. Zishki, importantly, is in the third place position. And now Bewley's there out front. What could Doyle do as he tries to float himself up the inside? Thompson now looking to come up the inside. There is Zishki as well. And he's done him. So it's a 3-all heat advantage at the minute. But Doyle has got Bewley set in his sights, and to be fair, Ziski is not a million miles off Dan Thompson. This is close, this. As Ziski now looks to try and come up the inside here of Dan Thompson, and it's nearly neck and neck, and now Ziski up the inside of Thompson. Thompson now looking to come back on the outside. He's not quite done it. So if this stays like this, the Aces will take the lead. And now Thompson looking to come back up the inside here. Not quite worked out for it just yet, as we've got one lap left to go in this race. As we come down, it's neck and neck as they go into the first turn for third and fourth. You'd have thought this was a playoff. Oh wait, it is. As we go now into the final two turns, and it's got to be the Aces that take the lead on the night after that one.
Dan Thompson stuck with that outside line when he shouldn't have. He should have covered the inside, and Ted Zishki saw that was still working. Ipswich and Dan Thompson have only got themselves to blame for letting go of that third place after they'd got through to it, and that's crucial for Belle Vue. They edge ahead for the first time just after the second block of heats. Dan Bewley was imperious out in front, but a massive third place from Tate Zishki, and Dan Thompson, if he's got to look at himself there and think, why did I not cover that position? Heat number 7 was won by the rider in red, Dan Bewley. Second in white, Jason Doyle. And third in blue, Tate Zishki. 4 points to 2 in Belle Vue's favour. And progressive leads now 22 points to 20 after 7 heats. And
It is.
It's as you were. Ipswich were 4 up after 4 heats, and are now 2 behind after 7.
British Speedway. Don't we love it?
Smart first lap from Dan Thompson there. Gets on the inside and then goes outside. And I don't know why he did that.
Yeah. The line, unless you're Dan Bewley or Brady Kurtz, the line just isn't on the outside yet.
No.
And unfortunately for Dan, he was exposed there by Tate.
He's left far too much room there. You saw as soon as he went into bend 1 he was going to lose the position. He steams in there but has to shut off. Richie Hawkins should be asking questions about that one, to be honest. And I'm sure you'd be asking
100%.
questions from an Ipswich point of view, Mush.
Oh, 100%. But, yeah. I know what questions I'd be asking, but I can't say them on here because there may be some explicit.
Now here's one. Does Mark Lemon persist with Norrit Bladorn, who started his last heat well but went backwards very quickly? Or does he throw Zishki in, who's got 2 points to his name but crucially battled hard and came through and looked miles better in that last one? Do you strike while the iron's hot, or do you trust in Bladorn and hope that he turns it on?
The way I would see it if I was Matt Lemon, but unfortunately for my nose doesn't need plastic surgery. I'd leave Heat 8 as it is. Definitely not from an Ipswich perspective, but obviously get Norwich ride out the way in Heat 8. That can be him done then. And then obviously get one of Mulford's rides out of the way, because I think he has to ride in Heat 8 in the Rising Star.
Yeah, and he's got one more after that because he was changed out of 4.
And then if things are going swimmingly, you bang
Maybe.
Mulford in 8:14.
Or maybe sacrifice him in 10 for the dawn, get him out of the way with Kurtz, who you'd probably expect to win it anyway, to minimise any damage.
Or that.
These have gone on a break. No
Um,
tax subs, remember, yeah, there were no tactical substitutes in playoff Speedway.
Big up Mr. Wheeler, who's watching us on mute and listening to us. What a gem.
What a boy. Let's hope that there's not too much lag between the Discovery and our version. While these have gone on a break, shall we have a quick couple of minutes?
Let's have a quick couple of moments. Back in 2.
We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
We're back. Hello, everybody. That was a much needed couple of moments there for us both.
We've had one comment come in while
currently,
we were off, Palmer, before you say that, and I think we can both agree with this. Martin says, don't be surprised if Bladorn wins Heat 8. We can absolutely both agree with that, I think.
it would be the most typical British Speedway thing ever, wouldn't it?
It would be the most Bladorn thing ever. Mark Lemon's got a cheeky grin on his face. He's looking a much happier man than he was 15 minutes ago.
Well, you know, he needs a bit of loving in his life, does old Marcus.
And where's Winchester when you need him? I wonder if he's watching us. He had texted me tonight to say he's watching us. Have you had anything off him?
No, me. No. I'm quite concerned.
Are you concerned?
Well, if I say that, it makes me sound like I care about his well-being, so yeah.
And we're nice people like that. And they're just having a chin wag. Hopefully they don't have to show these interviews then on the actual TV coverage before we start. Obviously we're both watching the normal TNT edition where they don't have ad breaks in.
These are on the actual TNT coverage as well.
Have they come back from their ad break?
Yeah.
Well, that always helps. I do hate TNT meetings though, because you're always running at their pace and it just seems to make a relatively straightforward evening drag a bit.
Yeah, an hour and a half meeting turned into 2.5 hours, doesn't it? It's
So James
it's
Shane
not
spanner
ideal.
in for Jake
I remember. I believe it is.
That looks like Shane's spanner in for Jake Mulford. It is James Shane spanner in for Jake Mulford. I'd recognise that smiley racing hoodie anywhere. Good to see him back on a bike. He had some really bad injuries, didn't he, last year before? So it's good to see him back racing Speedway as well now.
Yeah, 100%. And he's not doing too bad either, I do believe.
No, he's not. He's. I think he'll make a return to National League racing next season, potentially. I wouldn't be surprised to see that.
No, I wouldn't be either, to be honest.
It looks like Jake Mulford does retain his spot here in Noah Bladorn retains his spot, and the lineup is as follows: Gate 1 in blue, the Rising Star for the Aces, Jake Mulford. Gate 2 in yellow, the Rising Star for the Ipswich Witches. Jason Edwards, Gate 3 in red. Really tough evening so far, and it's off the unfavoured gate as well, Norwich Bladorn, and Gate 4 in white, the skipper of the Witches, Danny King. So Jason Edwards finds himself off at the favoured gate early on, and he's trapped well so far, and he's had speed crucially as well.
This race is literally red car versus Norwich Bladorn.
Yeah, it is. It is, yeah.
Up the Bears.
This is either going to go really
And
well for Belle Vue, or it's going to go really bad. I don't think there's any in between.
No, and we'll find out in around about 63 seconds. Well, maybe a little bit more, depending on when Mr. Ron gets to starters orders. Mark Lemon looks very nervous, watching on from the pits. And riders now revving the throttles.
Oh.
As the start marshal walks away. There was a lot of twitching going on there. And I think, are the reds on?
No.
Nope.
Oh my god, Jason Edwards has gone from second to last at third. Oh my god. You're going to need to refresh, Mush, you're lagging.
Yeah, I'll refresh after this race then. But yeah, Bladorn and Mulford are out in front now, actually, with Jason Edwards in third and Danny King at the back. This is not what the Witches ordered. But he's... Well... Someone said Noah Bladorn was going to win Heat 8. We agreed with that. We never agreed Jake Mulford was going to get a second. But yeah, it's how it is. And it was a very good ride from the Belle Vue boys, and you know, credit to them. That was a very good, very, very good ride from both of them there. And just like that, the Aces get another 5-1.
Jason Edwards made a perfect gate, and he did exactly what Dan Thompson did in the last one. Refused to go for the inside and tried going for the outside. Both the Belle Vue boys jumped up the inside of him, and that was it. Ipswich have been the catalyst for their own demise here.
100%.
And Danny King was absolutely nowhere. For me, that should be the end of his night, especially if Adam Ellis or Jason Edwards carry on as they are. Danny King has done what we normally expect of him and gone missing. And the result of heat number 8 was a win for the rider in
100%.
red, Norrit Bladorn. Second in blue, nobody had this on their bingo card, Jake Mulford. And third in yellow, Jason Edwards. 5-1 to Belle Vue, and Belle Vue have suddenly opened up a 6-point lead of 27 points to 21 after 8 heats. Ipswich gated. Ipswich were on a 5-1 off the line.
There was.
Too wide.
And,
what was he doing out there?
Exactly. Far too wide. And riding wide is going to cost Ipswich in this meeting.
Have you refreshed, boss?
Um,
Because you were
I shall
about
do
three.
that now,
You were
actually.
about 3 seconds
Well.
behind.
I'll do that now.
This is
We're just about to push off for heat number 9.
Yeah, this is vital now for Ipswich. They can't concede a heat advantage. If anything, they need one themselves.
100%. And Lidsey and Cook have been impressive tonight.
Cook has. Lidsey was impressive last time out, but was awful in Heat 1. Zach Cook's unbeaten from 2 rides. Jimmy Colbert, evening, guys.
Good evening, sir.
And the gates still favour 2 and 4, which Ipswich are on here. But Jason Edwards made the gate in that one and went backwards very quickly.
It went a little bit too wide, didn't he?
He did. So the lineup off heat number 9, gate 1 in blue, Zach Cook unbeaten from 2 rides so far. Gate 2 in white, 2 second places so far for Tom Brennan. Gate 3 in red, bounce back from a tough heat, first heat to get a paid win in his second. And off the outside in yellow, Adam Ellis, who's on a win and a paid second from his 2 rides so far, off gate 4 in yellow.
My French hero, what a man.
Is this going to be a rinse and repeat of last year? I know Ipswich were unlucky with refereeing last year, but they went into the playoffs as clear favourites, and on the grand scheme of things, you have to say they bottled it. Is it going to be the same again?
Did. I mean, looking at this, there's every opportunity of that happening.
They suddenly
But obviously, you know.
Carry on.
But obviously, you know, whatever happens tonight, we've got another 15 races to go on Thursday.
We have, and if Belle Vue can do it at home, so can Ipswich.
67.23, never forget. So the tapes rise then for heat number 9, and it's a very good start there for Tom Brennan there in the white helmet colour, and he's kept it down low. And now Adam Ellis has got himself into third, and now Jeremy Liddy back around the outside there of Adam Ellis. So this is a good ride, this, for his second and third, and Ellis now is sticking to the inside line there, but a good ride there from Liddy to just sort of block his run. And now Brennan's starting to go a little bit wider, but he's still got a bit of a lead over Zach Cook, which is what's needed. And if anything now, Ellis is drifting backwards in this race, and this is what Mark Lemon will probably be happy with a 3-all here, although Cook's going wide here, but Brennan's just extended his lead even more. So a bit of a processional one, this one now, after the first couple of laps, but it's one of them with Brennan. Obviously, he knows this place like the back of his hand. He's going very, very well here. And Zach Cook, he's closing that gap again. Brennan's going to have to be very, very careful here and have eyes in the back of his head. Oh, that thing's changed, so maybe he hasn't, because that race is now completed.
Good ride from Brennan there, all done from the start. Zach Cook tastes his first defeat of the evening. A good ride from JMO to get past Adam Ellis, and Adam Ellis did start to tail off at the end of the race. It's a race winner for Ipswich, but a shared heat's not enough.
I think overall at the minute, I know Ipswich are on the back foot. Ipswich will probably be the happier of the two teams.
Yeah, maybe. Heat 9 was won by the rider in white, Tom Brennan. Second in blue, first defeat of the night for Zach Cook. And third in red, Jamin Lidsey. Points divided 3 apiece. It's now 30 points to 24 after 9. Martin says, if Ipswich fail to win the playoffs this season, they'll be known as the paper champions.
Hey, at least they'd be known as some form of champions.
It's
Pick
not
up the paper.
It's not a reputation you want, is it, to be top in the league
No.
time and time again, and the team that's fancied by everyone, and then bottling it when it counts.
Yeah, 100%. You know, it wouldn't be ideal, but
Like you
maybe
say, Ipswich will be happier because they have absolutely had Belle Vue's number at Vauxhall by 16, 18, 20 points this season and more at times.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, Bewley and Brady don't necessarily go very well around Vauxhall.
Yeah, that's also true. Emil needs to step up in not the one coming up now, but the one after. He's stood there having a chin wag with I think Bewley and
Tate.
Yeah,
His opposition in the next race.
He's just not been very good tonight, has he? To be honest, and we said earlier on,
No.
Ipswich needed to capitalise on the heats without Kurtz and Bewley in, and they haven't. Heat 8 was a prime example, and on paper you'd have fancied Ipswich for that, and they conceded 5-1.
100%. And, you know, speaking of riders that need to step up, Jason Doyle's out here off gate 4.
And Dan Thompson needs to have learnt from the last one as well. Heat number 10, gate 1 in blue, Norwich Bladorn, impressive winner of heat 8. Gate 2 in yellow, Dan Thompson. Gate 3 in red is Brady Kurtz, unbeaten by an opponent so far. And off the outside in white, Jason Doyle, who finds himself currently on 3 paid 4 from his 2 starts. Gate 2 is the favourite gate, which is where Dan Thompson finds himself, and he's notoriously decent at trapping.
He is.
And he's going to need to be here. He's going to need to be here.
Hey, we've got 2 words for you.
Brady Kurtz. I've got another 3 for you. Potential world champion.
But, yeah, so far anyone that thought Brady wasn't giving any commitment to the Aces while he's chasing that world title, been well and truly shut up.
And Doyle is off gate 4. If there's one person I wouldn't want to see on the inside of me, it's Brady Kurtz.
It's Brady Kurtz, isn't it? So, Start Marshall then raises his arms and walks away for heat number 10. The tapes rise, away we go. It's a very good start there for Dan Thompson, who's trapped beautifully there. And Doyle now going right round the outside. What are you doing? Round the outside, what a move there from Jason Doyle. And it's the Witches currently on a 5-1 advantage here. Now Thompson has to stick to the inside here. Now, bit of team rider would be perfect here. And Brady, yeah, it's Brady going right round the outside here. He's done Dan Thompson, and now what can Thompson do? Can he come back up the inside as he's got Bladorn now hot on his heels as well? This is going to be an epic finish, and now Dan needs to just block that inside run and just let Doyley go out there and win it and just focus on getting that 3rd place. I'm sorry if I'm coming across a little bit biased. I'm a little bit of an Ipswich fan. I don't know if you can tell. Doyley with an absolute beautiful ride here. Leading Brady Kurtz as it stands at the minute. Kurtz is holding on to that inside line where it needs to be, but it's not quite working. Doyle's found where the right line is, and this is going to be a massive, massive 4-2 to the Witches there.
What a ride by Jason Doyle. Dan Thompson made the gates, sorted out Brady Kurtz early on. Jason Doyle balls out, no fear at all there, goes round the outside of all of them and just clears off. Absolutely fantastic ride there, and hands Brady Kurtz a rare defeat on home shale. And Dan Thompson crucially held on to 3rd as well.
We said Doyley needed to step up. He did that and a little bit more.
He did, yeah. Heat number 10 was won by the rider in white, Jason Doyle. 2nd in red, Brady Kurtz. And 3rd in yellow, Dan Thompson. 2 points to Belle Vue, 4 to Ipswich. Narrows the gap slightly after 10 heats. It's the Belle Vue Aces 32 points, the Ipswich Witches 28. Brilliant start from both the Witches. Dan clamps Norwich and sends Kurtz out wide really, really brave from Doyley as well.
Oh, it was
Brady tries to
100%.
cut back. Norwich gets in Brady's way. Dan Thompson's there blocking the line and Doors away and gone. Fantastic that. And Dan Thompson is as much of a hero for that one. Although he only finished third, he did what he needed to do early on and opened the door for that win for Doyle.
100%. And that was a cracking race of Speedway. That.
And Dan Thompson will probably be annoyed with himself for losing second, but it was always going to be a big ask to keep Brady Kurtz behind. His job in that race would have been to have beaten Norwich Dawn and let Doyley take 100%. Care of Brady, and that happened.
Did just that.
Yeah, brilliant. He came under pressure there, but he held on well and pegged it to the inside fantastically. Doyley stepped up. It's now time for the man on the screen to step up, Emil Sarvudanov, who will be looking to end the maximum run of Dan Bewley here.
Yes, 100%. And
I love Speedway. That was brilliant.
Oh, fantastic. If anyone ever said Speedway's boring, you just go around in circles, tell them, oi, F off, you're lying. That's normally what I do on a daily basis at work.
God, blimey. And do Ipswich make a reserve swap here? Because Danny King's been god-awful after he won.
Danny's out. Of course Danny's out. He's Richie Hawkins' best pal.
He got a point. He shouldn't be out. He was god-awful in Heat 8 and he didn't do anything in Heat 5, whichever 5 he was in, weren't
it? Yes.
Takes Ishki off gate 4 as well, and he will have just seen what Doyley did. Line up of heat number 11, gate 1 in white. Emil Sarvudanov needs to step up and lead from number 1 for the Witches if they're going to carry on this fight back. Gate 2 in red, unbeaten by an opponent, Dan Bewley. Gate 3 in yellow, Danny King, the skipper of the Witches, good in heat 1, not so good in any of his others. And gate 4 in blue will be buoyed by a massive third place in his last ride, Tate Zishki.
100%.
But the two riders that like the outside are on the inside in this one. So will Dan Bewley move straight out to there? Will he try and clamp Emil? How's this one going to go?
I reckon Bewley just goes right for the outside. And then Emil will just use that inside run that's been working all... Well, in theory, that's what should happen. But might not happen because they might have other plans.
And that will be a psychological advantage in Ipswich's favour to show that Brady Kurtz is beatable, and if they can beat Dan Bewley as well now, their imperious 1 of 5 for Belle Vue suddenly doesn't look so imperious.
100%. So the tapes fly up then for heat number 11. Away we go. And Dan Bewley's got there. And it's the two Witches boys out in the second and third place positions. And Dan Bewley's already checked out away and gone. He can go get himself a Bowen's pie and chips. And he'll still win this one. And to be fair, from the brilliance of heat number 10, heat number 11 looks already very, very settled. And we're on the back straight of the second lap. And it's going to be a 3-3 barring slip strips, falls and mechanical failures, which could happen. Unlikely, but could. And the dirt line is now starting to build around the outside. It took a bit of a while because the track was quite wet early on to start with, and it's taken a while for it to really build up around the outside. But to be fair, though,
tell you what, Emil's closing in.
He's closing in now on Bewley. One mistake for Bewley, Emil's got to be through. But they're both riding that same bit of track, and Dan's just pulling away now from Emil. But a 3-3, not the worst result in the world, but it could have been better.
Emil messed up the start again. That's 3 times he's gated tonight, and 3 times he's snaked. He's just messing up his starting. He's dropping the clutch perfectly, and the bike's snaking.
100%.
Good ride from Bewley. Very good ride from Bewley, in fact. But Emil did get close. But again, if you're on the same line, you're not going to pass.
No, 100%.
I like Bewley's number 5 on his bike. It's
very nice, isn't it? It's very shiny.
It's very snazzy, isn't it? And that was a win for the rider in red, Dan Bewley. Second in white, Emil Sarvudanov. And third in yellow, Danny King. That's a 3-all, and after 11 heats, it's the Belle Vue Aces 35 points, the Ipswich Witches 31. Yeah, Emil snakes again. Absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, it was not the perfect start there for Emil, and it proved to be because obviously Bewley managed to get to that first turn first, and that was it. Away he was gone when he saw.
And
Yeah,
he looked quicker
not
then,
great.
and he, dare I say, if he'd have gated properly, he could have maybe put Dan under more pressure. But he was quick on track. But you're leaving yourself too much to do if you're gating like that.
Yeah, 100%. And when you're against Dan Bewley as well, the last thing you want to be doing is snaking at the gate, especially around Manchester.
So I'd imagine there's going to be a track raid now and a little bit of a break. In a group chat, I've seen somebody say, and it's on a public post, so you've probably seen it yourself. If Belle Vue had made a change at number 6 when they could and not persisted with Tate Zishki, they would have the reserves to win this league.
I can't disagree with that.
And that's from a Belle Vue
I'll
fan.
be honest. I I can't disagree with that. Tate struggled a lot this year, not just at the Premiership level, but he struggled at Championship as well. He's starting to find his feet at Championship now. Now the season's coming to an end, but no, I can't disagree with that sentiment.
It is an interesting one, and as we saw in the last meeting between these teams at the start of August here, it was a 45-all draw. So Ipswich can ride this track, and I think on that
And
occasion that
Ipswich won the Superheat as well.
and they did win the Super, yeah. But I think on that occasion as well was when they were without one of their reserves. I think Jordan Jenkins had pulled out with injury. He had Jordan Jenkins had pulled out, and Dan Thompson only got 2+1. But Emil got 12 on that occasion. Danny King 6 and 2, and so far tonight Emil's on 4 and 1, and Danny King's on 3 and 1 from 4 rides.
Yeah, it's not ideal, is it? But it's the playoffs, and like we said earlier, the pressure is on. And when the pressure's on, you either turn into a diamond or you crumble.
Or you crumble, yeah. Interesting.
I mean,
actually, just quickly, the scores from that first meeting. They had rider replacement for Norwich Badorm, which got 3 points, and Norwich got 3 points. So fancy itself out. But Dan Bewley dropped just 1 point to an opponent, and that was Emil in Heat 1. Brady Kurtz went through the card, but then Zishki 4 and 1, Morford 4 and 2. Zach Cook got 7. He's improved tonight, and Jamin Lidsey on that occasion got 10 and 1. He's on 3 and 2, sorry, so far tonight. So,
yeah, and I mean, with no disrespect to the other boys, if there's anyone in them 14 riders that's gonna know when to turn it on in the playoffs, it's Zach Cook.
Yeah.
How many times has it been in finals with Paul?
Yeah. And Brady Kurtz will have experienced that from his time at Poole as well. But then so will Danny King.
100%.
There is a lot of Poole connections here, isn't there? Tom Brennan
Just
as well,
a few.
won the league with Poole last year. That Heat 8, if this is close at the end, or if Ipswich were to lose out over the meeting by 4 points, that Heat 8 there is where it happened.
100%.
We've still got 19 people watching.
100%.
That crowd's awful. Look at how many empty seats there is in that grandstand. And the back straight's
For a
not
playoff
great.
meeting, this crowd is appalling.
It's not good, is it? It's just not great. And is that because
No.
Belle Vue fans don't think they're going to go through it? I think you'd have had long odds on Ipswich winning this meeting, to be honest. With Belle Vue in the form they are, especially Brady and Dan and Zach and Jamo have stepped up as well. And
Yeah.
and obviously their weaker links, Norwich Bladorn 3 points, but his night's over. Tate Zishki has had 4 rides, including a reserve ride for Jake Mulford. Jake Mulford's still got to have 1 ride, but he got a paid win in his last one, so that's no given there.
100%.
And I do feel
I
it a
bloody
little
hate
bit.
this drone.
It's horrible, isn't it? Horrible. Where's this fool guy? Are Ipswich off 1 and 3 in this next batch?
I'll be honest, I ain't sure.
Let me see.
Probably.
Next race, Ipswich on 1 and 3. Yeah, Jason Dawes on gate 3. And the start marshal with that chalk has just gone straight across gate 3. And he's now going
As you
straight
do.
across gate 2. Absolute muppet.
Well, if he's got to do it for an opposition rider, he has to do it for an home rider, doesn't he?
Who's off gate 2 for them? Jamin Lindsay. I'll tell you what, this needs to be a heat advantage to Belle Vue. Jamin Lindsay gate 2, Jake Mulford gate 4, Jason Dall gate 3 and Adam Ellis gate 1. This has to be a heat advantage to Ipswich and they won't have a better opportunity to get it.
Absolutely not.
With all due respect to JMO and Jake.
Absolutely not.
That's some bloody week for Jake then, racing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, GP2 on Friday as well, and again on Sunday at Redcar. Blimey.
Well, he's got Saturday off. Man of his age only need 1 day a week off.
And he'll be on a plane coming back from the GP that day.
I hope he's got a good connection to an airport from Ipswich.
And Scott Nichols having a look at the track. There's a lot of shale down. It does look grippy on that outside, doesn't it? And it looks very
I'm
bare
glad there's
on
a
the
lot
inside.
of shale down on. I'm glad there's a bit of shale on there because that's what tracks are meant to have on.
Hello, Scotty.
I'm looking at you, Rob Godfrey.
The inside's so bare though. It's all going to be round the boards now, isn't it, for the next couple, I think.
The Speedway podcast, which we will have another podcast coming soon.
Would that be the Types to Flag hosted by them two fellas from D&D Media?
Oh, it might be.
Well, anyone in the comments, give us something to talk about while we've got 5 minutes while Scotty's having a look at his track. Who do you support? Where do you watch your Speedway? And any thoughts on this?
Or are you a fan of a... Or are you a supporter of a club that no longer exists? You know, who knows? We like to be inclusive to everybody. What the bloody hell have we got on here?
What is this? Now that's a big
Meant to be
Speedway
bike. Not stock cars.
That's a big Speedway bike. And it's got too many wheels. Try getting your slide on with that.
Are they building a speedway track inside an house or something?
There we go. Now we're back onto Doyley. He'll be buoyed by that result in his last race.
Doyley's mechanic looks very, very nervous.
He looks a little bit like Peter Carlson, doesn't he? Gives me PK vibes.
You know, now you've said that, I can't unsee it.
He gives me PK vibes. Martin says he's a Sheffield fan. We'll be watching Sheffield this time next week as the first leg will be taking place at Leicester. Jimmy, Glasgow Tigers, lots of trophies to win. I will reserve my opinions on Glasgow's title opportunities and trophy opportunities because opinions are like arseholes.
Yeah.
Everybody's got one.
Everybody's got one. Some are full of poo. And some
Not
are clean.
massive race in the context of the meeting, this and the tyres as an overall as well.
And the tyres are all.
Yeah, massive.
Oh,
race.
100%.
And the lineup of this heat number 12, gate 1 in yellow, is Adam Ellis, currently finding himself on 4 and a bonus from 3 rides. Jamin Lindsay, gate number 2 in red on 3 and 1 from 3 rides. Jason Dole, 6 points off gate 3 in white, but a massive win last time out to lower the colours of Brady Kurtz. Gate 4 in blue, James Mulford, big 5-1 in heat 8 with Norwich Blue Dawn. So he's coming into this one off the back of a paid win. Belle Vue are off the favoured gates 2 and 4.
100%. But obviously Doyley stepped up massively last time. And it's now time for the French superstar to do the same.
This is the race where heroes can be made, where you can make yourself a playoff semi-final hero if you go on to go through the tie. This heat will be one of those that's looked at and they say, yeah, that was it. It was like heat 8. It went in Belle Vue's favour. On paper, you expect this to go in Ipswich's favour, but that's not necessarily always been the case tonight.
No, absolutely not. So, heat number 12, then the start marshal gets the riders into order. Raises his hand up very violently there. The tapes right away we go. It's a great start there from Jason Doyle, who gets to that first to first. And Jamie Lindsay's there in the second place with Adam Ellis in third with Jake Mulford at the back. And this is just what the doctor ordered for the Ipswich Witches as it stands at the minute. Although Mulford's going really wide there, and Adam Ellis is just nicely just blocking his run off now. And Jamie Lindsay's starting to catch up to Jason Doyle. They're out in front. There's a lot of people in this race with J's in the name, isn't there? But yeah, Doyle is there out in front. He's found dirt line round the outside, and he's starting to pull away now from James and Lindsay. And Adam Ellis is now just about starting to pull away from Jake Mulford. So this is a 4-2 heat advantage currently to the Witches, which is just really what Richie Hawkins would have wanted, I would have thought, to be honest, although Adam's starting to go wide now in that third place, leaving himself vulnerable with Jake Mulford holding the inside line here. Now Doyle up to the inside, Mulford to the outside, and that is a beautifully rid 4-2, and that was massive for Ipswich.
And that closes the gap again. Jason Doyle started the meeting a little bit slow, but has really turned it on in his last two. That line moving out absolutely suits Doyle down to the ground, and he's found it. Jamin Lindsay did put the pressure on towards the end, and Adam Ellis crucially packing in that third. Just closes the gap, especially with Bewley and Kurtz out in the next one. But the result of Heat 12 was won by the rider in white, Jason Doyle, second in red, Jamin Lindsay, and third in yellow, Adam Ellis. 2 points to Belle Vue, 4 to Ipswich, and after 12 heats, it's the Belle Vue Aces 37, the Ipswich Witches 35. Massive, massive Heat 13 coming here.
Oh, it's not just a big Heat 13 like we have at Scunny. This is massive.
Doyle did everything from the start there. JMO cut back, which cut off Adam's nose, but Mulford was way out in the dirt even early on, and had a lot of ground to make up from the outset. And I think Ipswich would take that.
To be fair, in my head before that race, I envisioned an Ipswich 4-2 in that order. It just on paper, that's how you'd see it in it, really. So, but it's still a decent race nonetheless.
Leonard says he's a Coventry fan and goes to Leicester, and he goes all over the country for his Speedway. Proper Speedway fan, that.
Proper Speedway supporter. If we ever cross paths at a track somewhere, I'll buy you a beer.
And hopefully we'll see Coventry back one day. It's gone a little bit quiet on that front, but you live by the old moniker, no news is good news, eh? Until you hear otherwise.
Exactly that, me old China.
Heat 13, Ipswich are off the favoured gates 2 and 4. This is going to be huge.
Now, I'm an armchair Ipswich supporter and I've just got nervous.
But at worst case scenario, Belle Vue will be 6 points ahead if it's a 5-1, as you'd probably many people would expect, to be honest, in this one.
Well, if a certain Mr. Russian decided to step up and be a proper number one, it might not be all that plain sailing for Belle Vue.
Martin says game over for me for the Aces.
Not necessarily.
This will be telling, but at worst case, Ipswich are going to drop 6 behind, and I think they'll take that after 13, and they will have the opportunity to bounce back in 14. So gate 1 in red, Brady Kurtz beaten last time out by Jason Doyle. Gate 2 in white, Emil Sarvudinov not being fantastic, certainly off the start tonight. Gate 3 in blue, Dan Bewley. Jason Doyle has just won from that race, and Dan Bewley's unbeaten by an opponent. And off the outside in yellow is Tom Brennan, who's dropped just 2 points from his 3 rides so far. Huge race. Huge race.
Oh, this is massive.
And is this where Ipswich may pay the price for swapping Doyle from 5? Or if anyone's going to do the job, to be fair, it's going to be Brennan, though.
Tom's done all right from number 5, I reckon, to be fair. But I don't know. This race is almost giving me chills of 8:15 when I was commentating on the Knockout Cup final from a couple of years ago in the Championship. Yeah, close. So the Starmaster walks away for heat number 13. tapes fly away. We go. It's a beautiful start there from Tom Brennan around the outside there. Can Tom Brennan get to that first turn first? And now Emil's got around it. Dan Bewley there. And now what can Brennan do? And now Brady, sorry, goes right to the outside now. They're literally neck and neck, and now Saifunoff coming up the inside here of both the aces boys there, and this is a fantastic race. Bewley now at the back. This is a 3-all heat. Well, not really a heat advantage, is it? They're both getting the same amount of points. Same thing though, isn't it? And now, oh, that was a scary moment there for Bewley. And now what can Brennan do as he comes back up the inside? There, he's done it beautiful. And Bewley back around the outside. This is fantastic stuff, this. Neighbours, if you complaining about me shouting, I don't care. Go report me to the council. This is fantastic stuff, this. And a very good race here, and it's not. It could have been worse for Ipswich, this one, but Brady Kurtz redeeming himself after missing out to Jason Doyle there, and Emil getting that second place, and the 4-2 is not the worst thing in the world.
Brilliant race that. Bewley was at the back, and then he came through, and then he was at the back again. Emil took the lead. Emil looked quick, and fantastic race that, and Emil crucially splits the home pairing to limit the damage, and it's now 4 points to lead for Belle Vue.
I mean, I know I've got a slight bias with Ipswich here tonight, and I do apologise to that, by the way, but I think we could both agree we've both just appreciated this brilliant speedway tonight.
There's been some good racing. Heat 13 was won by the red Brady Kurtz, second in white Emil Sarvudanov, and third in blue Dan Bewley. 4 points to Belle Vue, 2 to Ipswich. The scores after 13 heats: Belle Vue 41, Ipswich 37. For me, anything other than 2 5-1s to Belle Vue in the last 2 races, and I think it's game over. I think they need 14 points, and 2 5-1s would give them 12 with the 8-point swing, and the 4 points ahead that they are, it would give them 12 points. I'll be honest. They need 5-1s, anything other than 5-1s, and I think it's all in Ipswich's hands. But what a race that was!
Oh, that was just fantastic, innit? But yeah,
Leonard says that's what Speedway is about. Absolutely,
100%.
And even Brennan, he finished at the back, but he was there or thereabouts. He was in the mix, and what a race!
100%. You know, when you've got 4 riders on a track, I don't want to say decently prepared, but you know, when you've got 4 riders on a track giving it absolutely everything, going hammer and tong, you just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
And Bewley looked like he was going to stack that a couple of times. I reckon his heart would have probably been in his mouth a couple of times. Adam Ellis comes into this one in yellow.
That isn't a surprise.
And Tate Zishki retains his spot in blue. All eyes are going to be on Zach Cook and Dan Thompson here. You've got to favour Zach Cook based on tonight's form, but Tate Zishki's going to have to go some.
Tomo can get. So could Zach.
And again, we said this about the last one. This is massive. This is huge. Well,
we thought 8-13 was something. This 8-14 is going to be even bigger.
This is where heroes are made and not. Oh my God, what is Zach doing there? He was pushing off, then he wasn't pushing off, and then Zishki goes into him, and my God.
What a numpty.
And here we are with Heat 14, then the penultimate one of the first leg of this meeting. Gate 1 in white, Dan Thompson, 3 points on the board. Crucial 3 points actually, especially in his last ride. Gate 2 in blue, Tate Zishki with 2 points on the board from his 4 rides, but he's off the favoured gate. Gate 3 in yellow, the reserve change for the Witches. Adam Ellis replaces Jason Edwards, and Gate 4 in red is Zach Cook, who's been imperious in this meeting. He's scored 8 points from his 3 rides so far, including 2 wins.
Zach's done very good, to be fair, tonight.
And he's off probably the favoured gate, dare I say.
I can't disagree with that much.
Now, where will the nerves be for the Belle Vue supporters?
I think this is one of them where they're going to have the programme boards in front of their eyes.
And this is where I don't miss having a team to support, because these are nervous times.
Yes, they are. You could have this in the next semi-final when you've got your Leicester Lions.
They're not my Leicester Lions yet, they're just my local team. Off we go.
So the tapes rise then for it, number 14, away we go. Beautiful start there from Dan Thompson in the white helmet colour. And now where the bloody hell's Adam going? He's going backwards, pal. You're not meant to do that much. So it's currently a 3-all as it stands. And now Ellis looking to come around the outside, irritate Jiski. It's not quite worked out. So Adam now looking to come back up the inside. Adam Ellis done it. Beautiful move there. And Thompson's still there out in the front. And now what can Zach Cook do? Zach Cook up the inside there. Beautiful ride there from Zach Cook. Now Thompson looks to return the favour, but he can't quite do it just yet. Now Adam Ellis really needs to keep Jiski behind him to keep this as a 4-point meeting, and it's almost neck and neck as they come down the back straight. And now Ellis just blocks a run there at Jiski. Zach Cook's away and gone now, and it's very, very close there for third and fourth. This is I'm watching through my fingers, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, massive. This is a massive 8-win here for Zach Cook there in the first place, and as they come down to the line, Adam gets that just. That 3-3 could be huge.
Good start from Dan Thompson. Zach Cook made a bad start, ended up at the back, came straight up, steaming up the inside. Dan Thompson now on to second place. Zach Cook had some pace on him as well, and Adam, I'd argue Tate was probably quicker than Adam, but he couldn't capitalise on that. And that was a fantastic ride from the Ipswich pair in doing what they needed, and that Heat 14 result. Zach Cook takes the flag in red, second in white Dan Thompson, and third in yellow Adam Ellis. 3 points apiece, and it's now 44 points to 40 in Belle Vue's favour. At worst case scenario, barring a 5-0 in Heat 15, it's going to be an 8-point swing in Belle Vue's favour. For me at Vauxhall, that's not enough.
No, 100%, and yeah, again, it's like we said earlier, if Ipswich was to lose this meeting by 4 points, like they're doing now, all down on that Heat 8.
Right, if you want to nominate a rider for the rider of the meeting, we'll leave it up to the people who are watching us to have their say in the chat on the two we nominate. This is tough.
Oh. Zach Cook.
I'll go for Doyley.
So you shoot some shell nominations for Rider of the Night. Zach Cook or Jason Doyle?
Just comment the name of the rider in your opinion out of those two should be the rider of the meeting, and they'll all be tallied up at the end if we get any in, and if not, then we'll sort that out when we come to it. But either comment Zach Cook or Jason Doyle, whichever one you think should be the rider of the night. They've both been fantastic for their own reasons. But I do think
100%.
I think Zach deserves 8-15, but in a team with Bewley and Kurtz, he's not going to get it.
Not in a meeting this big either.
No.
And it looks like Brady Kurtz is asking Mark Lemon how to read a programme.
Speedway riders don't often do that, do they? They just get numbers, colours, and gates, and heats, and stuff.
Basically, yeah.
For Ipswich, who do you go for? For me, it's got to be Emil and Doyley. Emil looked miles better in that last one, and Doyley's turned on the style in the second half of his programme rides.
I was going to say, Doyley's been fantastic from Heat 10.
Crucially as well, Belle Vue will get gate choice.
And they're blatantly, obviously, going to go for 2 and 4.
Yeah, 2 and 4 have been the ones. Go 2, 5 wins, go 4, 4 wins. Jimmy has gone for Zach Cook.
I mean, you could for the Witches, you could throw Tom Brennan into the conversation, but unfortunate maybe in Heat 13, but a last is a last. And
I just think it lines up. I think Emil got his best score of the night, his best race of the night, off gate number 1, and Jason Doyle won his last ride off gate number 3, so it writes itself for me, that.
100%. Can't disagree with that.
Jeff Higgett says Doyle, Jimmy says Zach Cook, so it's one apiece at the moment.
Jeff Higgett, is that that's the Ipswich photographer, isn't it?
Ipswich photographer, yeah, I think.
What the name rings a bell, and I'm sure it's something to do with Ipswich. So what a man to have watching us tonight.
For me though, Jason Doyle's form has been what has sparked this Ipswich comeback, because it looked a little bit like that Belle Vue could have pulled away in that middle part, and then Doyle beating Kurtz and ending his maximum almost swung the balance a little bit. Leonard says Zach Cook, that's 2 for Cook, 1 for Doyle.
Yeah, it's almost gave the Ipswich boys that kick up the backside, which, to be fair, probably what they needed.
And this could have been so different as well. You know, Emil's not had his best of nights. He's got it together a bit more in the last couple. Danny King, not the best of nights, but he isn't riding at 100%. A little mistake from Dan Thompson when he'd got the lead to go from first to third. Likewise, Jason Edwards. But then you could look down the Belle Vue scorecard as well. Norrit Bladorn, 1 win and a retirement and 2 lasts. Tate Ishki, 2 third places, 3 lasts. Jake Mulford a paid win in Heat 8, but nothing other than that. And it's been a lot of pressure on Jamin Lidsey, Zach Cook, Dan Bewley and Brady Kurtz.
Yeah, 100%.
We've got a line-up for Heat 50. You know, we were absolutely certain that Belle Vue would take 2 and 4.
Wow.
They've took 1 and 3. The lineup for heat number 15, gate 1 in red for Belle Vue will be Brady Kurtz. Gate 3 in blue will be Dan Bewley. Gate 2 in white, the favoured gate of the meeting, will be Jason Doyle. And gate 4 in yellow will be Emil Saivudanov. I don't think there's any surprises in the nominations that have come in. There's a surprise in the gate choice though, which Belle Vue had 315.
Wow.
Pete Adams used to have a thing for that though. You never give up the inside gate in the nominated races, and he used to take 1 and 3 a lot, and I never used to understand it.
To be fair, the inside is the shortest way around, isn't it?
Yeah, and we'll just have a quick look at 1 and 3. Heat 11, 1 and 3, 5-1 to Ipswich. Heat 12, 1 and 3 for Ipswich, and it was a 4-2. 11 was a 3-all. Heat 12, 1 and 3 for Ipswich was a 4-2 to Ipswich. Heat 13 was a 4-2 to Belle Vue off 1 and 3, and Heat 14 was a shared heat with 1 and 3 for Ipswich. So the gates have somewhat evened out at this latter stage. Most of the gate 4 and gate 2s came early on.
100%. It's going to be a very interesting Heat 15.
Winnie had to jump on a work meeting there, missed a few Heat 2s, the Rider of the Night choices. Zach Cook and Jason Doyle are the nominations for Rider of the Night.
Interesting times, but yeah, Zach Cook and Jason Doyle, Rider of the Night.
And at the moment it's 2-1 in Zach Cook's favour. Either way, there's no other way to say it, but Ipswich will be the happier of the two teams. They're going to leave here with less than double figures deficit to make up. They could leave here equal.
5-0, and they could leave here with a win. Unlikely.
Winnie says Cook, as much as it pains. It's going to be interesting, but it's been shown tonight Brady Kurtz is beatable, and so is Dan Bewley. Emil beat Dan Bewley in 13. Jason Doyle beat Brady Kurtz earlier on in the night as well. So they are beatable.
100%.
and we've suddenly got a massive, massive finish. But either way, Ipswich will be the happier of the two sides. There's absolutely no other way to say it. And Richie
100%.
Hawkins still isn't cracking a smile.
He doesn't crack smiles. Only half a smile when they go on the TV advert breaks. That's about it.
And
But,
for anyone that wasn't here earlier on, we're back tomorrow night at around about 7:20 for the first leg of the Pool Pirates versus the Red Card Bears Cab Direct Championship playoff semi-finals.
oh yes, it's a very busy week for us, and then we'll be back on Wednesday.
Weather depending,
After
because
that,
it looks
weather
bloody awful.
dependent. Weather dependent for Oxford versus Redcar. And you never believe it, but then we'll be back on Thursday for the second leg of this.
And then we have Friday and Saturday off, absolutely shocking, but we're making up for it on Sunday because we're back with a double header for Workington versus Berwick in the afternoon and Redcar versus Poole, second leg of that semi-final on the evening. And we're back on Monday for the first leg of Leicester versus Sheffield. Tuesday and Wednesday off, and then we're back on Thursday for Sheffield versus Leicester.
Busy times.
It's a long winter, as somebody from Lincolnshire told me the other day.
It is when your season's done on the 29th of August.
It's true. Absolute legend on the spanners there for Brady, as he has been all season. 2-point Tom.
2 points on, what a boy. He's done alright this season as Brady's mechanic.
Brady ain't done too bad either, I suppose.
I don't know what you're on about. He just twists the throttle and pulls the clutch in.
He does the easy work.
He does the easy bit.
We'll award our rider of the night after this, but so far there's a clear winner in favour of Zach Cook, and I do think that's probably right. You know, 3 wins dropped just the 1 point to an opponent, and that was to Tom Brennan.
And arguably, I know Brady's only dropped 1 point, but arguably Zach dropping just the 1 point is more impressive.
Yeah, for sure. So that's one more to go with the first half. We're almost at the halfway stage of this tie. Good fight back from Ipswich as well, to be honest. And the lineup across the gates: gate 1 in red, Brady Kurtz, the skipper of the Aces; gate 2 in white, Jason Doyle; gate 3 in blue, Daniel Bewley; and off the outside in yellow, Emil Saivudanov. Massive heat. We've said this for the last 3, but this is huge, and this should be a belter with these 4 riders in it as well.
We thought 8-13 was good. Replace Tom Brennan with Jason Doyle. We could have magic.
Janowski?
Oh no!
Oh,
That's the sort of magic you get at kids' parties.
Oh.
If the real magic turned up, Oxford might be in the playoffs. I mean, what? Then
again,
yeah,
they might not.
this is certainly got the nerves racking here.
For the last time tonight, I don't know if this is Super 8, I don't really care, but for the last time tonight, take us away, lad.
I don't think there'll be a Super 8 if it's 45 all tonight in a 2-legged tie like this. So, come on, Dan, mate. Some of us have got package to make in the morning. So the tapes rise away. We're going for rate number 15, and it is Jason Doyle that just about gets to that first and now. Brady Kiss looking to go on the inside, and now it's Doyle that gets to that first and now. Dan Bewley looking to come round the outside here. Now what can Doyle do is he's got 2 aces on his heads, on his tail, and now Bewley up the inside. Cracking right this, and now Doyle comes back on the inside here, and Dan Bewley. This is fantastic stuff. We said this was going to be brilliant. Oh, this is fantastic. And Rodney on the second lap as we go now into lap number 3. Dan Bewley still just about has the lead, with Jason Doyle trying absolutely everything there in second, and world champion elect Brady Kurtz looks quite settled there in third place, to be honest, although he's starting to come up the inside here of Doyle. Now Doyle goes wide now, and we've got 1 lap left to go in this race, and I think a lot of people would take a 48-42 defeat, if you like, if you're a Witches fan. But now Brady ran the outside. Doyle gets that second place.
And
Lemon's not a happy chappy.
that's not enough for Belle Vue. It's not enough.
2 races and that 6-point defeat can be wiped out.
100%. One race and the majority of it can be. And around Vauxhall, without Brady Curtis has gone there this season, and Dan Bewley, not been particularly great there either. Ipswich will be fired up. They needed double figures. They needed 12 or 14. They've got 6. It's not enough. In number 15 was won by the rider in blue, Dan Bewley. Second in white, Jason Doyle. And third in red, Brady Kurtz. That's a 4-2 for Belle Vue to finish off the meeting. And the final score of this playoff semi-final first leg, it's the Belle Vue Aces 48, the Ipswich Witches 42. Palmer, do you want to quickly run us through the individual scorers?
Just working them out now, Most. You got that 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 1. So, for the Belle Vue Aces, Brady Curtis 12, Norwich Blooddawn 3, Jamin Lidsey 5 and 2, Zach Cook 11, Dan Bewley 13, Tate Risky 2, Jake Mulford 2 and 1. And when I tell you the Ipswich scores, you can see where the Belle Vue issues lie. Emil Seyfutinoff 6 and 1, Danny King 3 and 1, Jason Doyle 11 and 1, Dan Thompson 5, Tom Brennan 7 and 1, Adam Ellis 6 and 2, Jason Edwards 4 and a bonus.
And you can see the issues, like Emil paid 7, he had an off night, and Ipswich still only leave with the 6-point margin to make up. Emil will not be this bad at Vauxhall.
No, Danny King won't be that bad at Vauxhall.
No, he won't. And I'll be honest, I don't think Zischke and Mulford scored 2 and 2 and 1 respectively at Vauxhall either, to be honest.
No, and it's like, as we said, Jason Edwards on his own has scored the exact same as both Belle Vue Aces reserves put together.
Some notes being exchanged there between Richie Hawkins and Mark Lemon. It looked like they were just having a general chinwag, but Mark Lemon could not hide the disappointment on his face.
Well, his team shouldn't have been crap then, should they?
Our rider of the night as well goes to Zach Cook for his impressive 11 from 12. And
11 from 4 much.
Same thing, 11 of a possible 12.
Yeah.
A fantastic night for Ipswich overall. They'll be happy with that. 6 points to make up a Vauxhall, like you say. It could be wiped out by the end of E2.
And as we can see now, just before we go off air, Ipswich having a massive team talk in preparations for Thursday.
And there's a massive Ipswich family bonding vibe, isn't there? Winnie says thanks for tonight, catch you on the next one.
Yeah.
Jimmy, thanks guys. Jeff Higgett, thanks. And it has been a really good meeting. It started a bit slow, but it was bloody fantastic at points, that.
Yeah. I'll tell you, bro, we're in a group chat with a Belle Vue fan who's insufferable. But Belle Vue is one of the best racetracks in the country. It's not quite as good as Redcar, but it's a close third.
Do you want to wrap us up for the meeting? Explain to our lovely friends when we'll be back and all of that stuff.
So we are back tomorrow evening at around 7:20 as we cover the first leg of the Championship playoffs between the Pool Pirates and the Redcar Bears. I've been Dan, he's been Dylan, we've been Shoots and Shale, we've also been D&D Media. Thank you very, very much for tuning into our stream this evening. We do appreciate every single one of you that gives us a view. Give us a subscribe, get us on that road to 100. We're not a million miles away. We'll see you all tomorrow. Good night.